There is a very simple way in which you can start investing, which will almost guarantee profit, and you can start it right now. All it requires you to do is have a few spare coins as well as be patient. But I guarantee you, at some point within the future, these investments will increase. And I'm spending quite a bit of my coin balance, which I've earned through trading, into these types of investments. But before I share exactly what those investments are, if you are looking to get some very easy coins, there is no better place than Mule Factory. Head over there to get yourself some cheap, fast FIFA 23 coins, completely reliable, and if you use Fnatic 5 at checkout, you'll also get yourself a 5% discount. Link can be found in the description down below. Getting back into the video, the investments that we're going through aren't anything too special. You don't need to unlock some key bit of information. This is already out there. This has been a way to invest over many FIFAs, and I've been riding this wave for years. It's not just led to me profiting from a few investments here or there, it's led to me making millions of coins across multiple FIFAs, and it's highly likely that the exact same thing is going to happen again this year. And it all comes down to the content that EA provides. This is, of course, fodder investing. Now, if you haven't heard of this type of investing before, it's quite simply looking for players that will most likely be used for SBCs. And typically EA likes to go for special cards or players with ratings, so it's always best to go for those types of players because at some point EA will release an SBC which requires a certain rating or requires a certain special card, and when it does, it will drive demand to those types of players on the transfer market, and that's what makes these players increase. This really is all you need to know to start investing into these players, but you need to do it way before EA actually plans to release any of these SBCs. And the best time to do it is when they're cheap. And right now, at the beginning of FIFA 23, this is the time to do it. You can search onto the transfer market, as well as you can also use sites such as FootWiz, FootBin, and there being plenty more out there to find players above a certain rating. Typically, anyone that is 83 rated or above has a good chance of being selected. Now, this does come down to their price. If they are high rated, for example, Mbappe being at 91, he's obviously not going to be selected and is not going to increase when an SBC releases, because why the hell would you go for Mbappe to go and put him into an SBC? But there will be more players that will go for someone such as Thibaut Courtois simply because he's still a 90 rated player, so only one less than Mbappe, but he's valued at 35k. If you have the coin balance to look at some of these players, it may be worth going through and start picking up a couple. If not, well, you can always go down to those that are 83 rated. Right now, there's loads of 83s and 84 rated players which you can get for around 1,000 to 2,500 coins. Anything above that, it may not be someone that you're looking to buy. Now, for those that are valued within this price range, of course, they're not the most desirable players ever. That's why they're valued so cheaply. But no one cares when an SBC is released, which does require you to reach a rating. They only care for the player and the rating himself and whether or not they can meet that SBC requirement. So what I'm doing is actually using FootBin to find the players which are 83 and 84 rated, and I'm then just going down the list. Some of these players aren't worth buying into, such as Jude Bellingham being priced at around 30k, way too expensive and not going to work for this type of investing. But then seeing someone such as Jack Grealish for 1,500 coins, that's something that I'm happy to give up and just store into my club. I will buy one of every single one of these players which are reasonably priced and store them into my club and forget about them. At some point when an SBC does release, that's when I can either use them for the SBC itself, or in most cases I end up selling these players. But this doesn't just link to players above a certain rating, this also links to special cards, and the easiest way to start investing in this is to look at Team of the Week players. Very similar to our previous lot of investments, what I'm doing is just going through the list of Team of the Week players which are out for that week, and I'm buying those which are the cheapest. Now, you shouldn't do this at the beginning of a new Team of the Week when it is first released, because that is when they are at their most expensive. what I tend to do is wait a week until it gets round to Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday before a new team of the week is released, and that's when I buy my players. I won't be looking at those which are the most expensive. So Kevin De Bruyne at 300k, way too expensive for me. Heung-min Son at 415 right now at the time recording this video, way too expensive for an investment. Still could be a great player, but just not worth it in how many coins that I need to put in for there to be a chance of him increasing. And it's the same with quite a few other players. But then there's other players such as Traore, who is 85 rated, valued at 16k. I'm happy to risk 16,000 coins on a player like this. 85 rated in Ligue 1, if he's needed for any Ligue 1 SBCs or maybe yet again for rating plus special card, he's definitely going to be selected. And then for other players which are part of the team of the week, they are just seen as risk-free investments for me, just because even if they never increase throughout the whole of FIFA 23, it doesn't really matter because you can buy them at pretty much discard value. You're able to get them so low that even if they were never to increase, you either sell them at the exact same price, which you will lose coins due to EA tax, or you can just quick sell them, in which you're probably only going to be losing about 500 coins anyway because you did buy them at their minimum price. So players such as Hoffman, Savenir, or Ledesma, with there being plenty other players as part of the team of the week, they are so cheap that I might as well risk it. As said, worst case scenario is I probably break even or just lose about 500 coins, or I could just keep them into the club and use them at some point for an SBC, which even if they don't increase at that point, at least I can still use them for something. But I should also tell you that after doing this for years, I haven't made a loss going through this. And that's just because I ride the cycle. I buy them now when they are at their cheapest, and then there is an SBC which releases and they're needed, and of course demand actually increases with these types of players, forcing these player prices to increase. It's at that point in which I sell, and then a couple weeks later, once that SBC has expired, player prices start to die down again. It may not be the exact same players, but there will be players that I will then buy into again to replace all those previous investments that I managed to profit from. And you keep this cycle going over and over again every single time, and it'll happen several times throughout the year. The only problem with this is that you do need to have patience. These are not investments which will increase the following day after you buy into them. It may not even be the following week. In some cases, it's not even a month or two until you get an SBC or something happens which makes these players actually go up in price. And that's where most people fell going through this. They end up buying into them thinking that they're gonna go up, and they end up checking back onto them every single day only to realize that they're at the exact same price. They do this for so long that they just get fed up and they start thinking, well, I might as well just get rid of these players because then I can use the coins to improve my team. So they do exactly that. They sell those players on. Most of them either breaking even, but yet again, because of that 5% EA tax, ends up leading to them making a loss. And then they get rid of everything, use the coins to buy their team. And it's at that point in which these players increase because an SBC has been released. And now they're looking to buy back the exact same players that they just sold so that they can use them for the SBC. I see it time and time again. The best thing to do is if you do have some spare coins and you are looking for some investments which may take a bit of time for them to actually go up in value, then by all means go through these types of players, go for these types of investments, look for fodder, whether that be through special cards with team of the weeks, or maybe you're looking just for rare gold players with ratings, buy them and then just sit on them, hold them, forget about them whilst they're in your club, and then use them at a later date when they are needed. If you want to play a bit more risky with this type of method, of course you can go for higher rated players which require more coins. But for 90% of the time, I go for those that are at their minimum price, or the cheapest when looking at rare gold players for 83 or 84 rated. To get the very best results from my experience, put this as part of your weekly cycle. From the moment a new team of the week is released, I will check every single player, not buy them, but just look over every single player and start to get a rough idea of what I'm interested in for what type of price. and then spend the next 7 days pretty much playing the game, doing what I want, whether that's through trading or just playing matches to build up my coin balance. And however many coins profit I make in that week, I will use 50% of it to go into these types of team of the week investments. That way I am continuously increasing my coin balance, and also I'm increasing the amount of players that I have as investments into my club. So even if these investments, yet again, and we're just going through this as worst case scenario, even if those players did not increase in price, it doesn't really matter because I have increased my coin balance anyway. And this just becomes part of my weekly cycle until they do eventually increase. Well, they get sold off, and then I do the exact same thing again once they are slightly cheaper. But anyway guys, this is exactly how I handle my investments when going through Ultimate Team. I don't try to do anything fancy because A, I don't need to, and B, there's a limited amount of time that I can dedicate to FIFA each week just because of life, and I'm sure you've got other priorities as well. We can't all sit here and just scour the market trying to find the very best investments which will increase within the next 24 hours. And this is one of the easiest ways around it because it's part of a weekly rotation and you do not need to dedicate any time whatsoever. It's just making sure you know where you are within the cycle and just following it. If you do have any questions about anything, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see ya.